It's 12:04. And I want to start today, we'll do the intro of guests, but this time, instead of me taking roll call, I'm going to go around the room and we'll do some quick introductions.
Me, Karen Fife, IT manager for board staff.
Dakota Mize, a community engagement specialist, board staff.
William Baird, Texas Regional Pathways Network Coordinator and EO Officer, board staff.
Kendra Ball, Business and Outreach Manager, board staff.
Sharon Halsey, board contract manager.
Taylor Crowley, childcare contract manager, board staff.
Billy Clark, electric.
Vicky Holland, petroleum. Robin Green, the board office, assistant secretary.
Linda Whitaker, Archer.
Alicia Myrick, I'm the executive director.
Kenny Miller, Region 9.
Tiffany Powell, vocational rehabilitation manager. Kristen Little, American National Bank and Trust.
Rhonda Schreiber, I'm a nurse with Humana, I'm a manager.
Lisa McDaniel, Executive Director for board.
Crystal Byrne, the project director for Equus.
Denise Jones, operational excellence director for Equus.
Arrows quality coordinator, insurance insurer for childcare.
Donna Adams, program director for childcare.
Dennis Whibley, Executive Director of Nortec Regional Planning Commission.
Charlotte Silva, Equus QA.
Tracy Hunt Felton, business services consultant.
Ginger Hannah, business and employment services manager, Equus.
Dave Gold, District Supervisor, Texas Veterans Commission.
Sandy Starr, program supervisor, Equus.
Rainwater specialist supervisor, Equus.
If we can get those online to introduce yourselves.
Jim Scholander, Baron Brothers Feed Stores.
Okay.
Hang on, we can't hear you. Hang on, Jim.
Scholander.
We can't hear you. Let's try somebody else and see.
Okay.
If you can talk.
Cheryl
Dr. Groves.
Yes, Cheryl Groves.
No,
Groves.
we can't hear you. Hang on. Let's fix this.
Yep, you second.
Technical difficulties.
The volume, right?
Which one is it? Okay, can somebody say something again?
What about now, Lisa?
Okay.
Good.
Hear you,
Okay.
yes.
Michael Blevins, Tower Extrusions.
That's the cast.
Cheryl Groves. Cheryl Groves, Groves Mechanical.
I'm going to go check out the kitchen.
Jim Scholander, Baron Brothers Feed Stores.
Anthony Louis. Pratt and Whitney.
Chelsea Lewis with Lewis Learning Center.
Terry Leiston with Dynamic Workforce Solutions.
So Chief Pruitt with Adult Education and Literacy, Region 9.
And Glenda, we have you. She has no voice, so Glenda Ramsey, Gotcha. we have you down. Thank you for coming.
Tremaine Hubbard, District Manager with the Texas Veterans Commission.
Did we get everybody? Okay, thank you all.
This one.
Okay, so we have 14 board members, which is enough for a quorum. Yes. Do we have any public comments?
Yes. Thanks to who all decorated the room, it really looks nice.
You're welcome. I have fun with that. Nice. Okay, we'll move on to consent agenda, approval of the April 2026 board meeting minutes. It's in the packet. Just a second.
Let the record show that Tony
Tony.
Alfonso has joined us. Thank you.
In person.
Rhonda, I move we accept the consent agenda.
Thank you, Billy. Do we have a second? And Vicky. All right, let's bring it to a poll.
For the board meeting.
Yeah, the board meeting.
Yes.
Yes. 6.
And then let's do the separate one, the Form 990.
Okay, let me first. Let's Okay, back to the room. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, we will move to the approval of Form 990, which was in the packet, pages 8 through 44 that was sent out. Do we have any questions? If not, can we get a motion to approve? Billy? We have a second? All right, we'll bring this poll up. Those online. Okay, back to the room. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, passes. Now we're going to move to the contract award for the RFP. I'll let Lisa discuss that a bit.
It's okay. And I want to start by saying thank you, Kendra, for filling in for Sydney. I let Sydney go on vacation this week of all times. So she's on the beach at Gulf Shores, Alabama somewhere. So my team has really helped me this week pull this together, everything, the food, the decorating, the running the program. So I appreciate Kendra and all that she is doing today while Sydney is on vacation. So we're going to talk about the RFP 2026-002. The evaluation committee met and made their recommendation for the award. So a little bit of the history. Back on March the 31st, we published the request for proposal for the workforce management and operations. And of course, the objective of the RFP was to contract with a qualified and experienced organization that could fulfill the criteria addressed in that solicitation. And so listed on there was the possible points that the individuals that applied for this could receive. So those proposals were due on May the 14th for evaluation and selection. The evaluation committee scoring members consisted of Tony Alonso, Glenda Ramsey, and Dirk Welch, with non-scoring members of Sharon Hulsey, the chair and co-chair of Kendra Ball. And so the evaluation committee met, and all scoring members of the evaluation committee discussed everything on June the 8th. And so the RFP evaluation committee met on June the 10th, led by the committee chair, Sharon, who presented the tabulated scoring and the comments. And the purpose of that meeting was just to confirm that the evaluation results share any key observations from each evaluator and determine if there were any additional interviews with the proposers were needed. And at that time, the evaluation committee, once the ranking was done, it was very, very close. They were very lengthy proposals, a lot of information, of course, as you can imagine, that goes into managing the workforce center and those operations. And so the evaluation results, we did have two proposers. It was Equus Workforce Solutions and Dynamic Workforce Solutions. And at the end of the scoring, Equus Workforce Solutions scored at a 92% and Dynamic was 90%. And so we've listed a little bit of some of the discussion that the committee had when they met. They provided some of the following observations for Equus, indicated that their application was complete, well organized, following the perimeters outlined in the RFP, and responses were concise and appropriately detailed, allowing for ease of review. Also noted for Equus was that they have 50 plus years of experience, including 20 plus years partnering with the Texas Workforce Commission and workforce boards in Texas. And they also are the incumbent for 15 years. The staffing would remain unchanged, established relationships with employers, no system conversions, process transitions, or facility changes. And they have a strong rural service delivery. They also noted that the proposer disclosed a comprehensive list of corrective actions, disallowed cost, and legal issues. However, it was noted by the evaluators that many seemed to include issues which were already resolved and determined to be unfounded, with an overall outlook that the quantity and severity was small relative to the size of the company of over 3,000 employees. Also noted by the committee was that there was extensive monitoring and tracking using a root cause analysis to improve customer complaints, and 1% of the profit with the plan for reinvestment was outlined in their proposal. So those were some of the comments for Equus. Committee members also provided the following observations for Dynamic Workforce Solutions. The application was complete and very detailed, but some information referenced was hard to find within the large packet without page numbers or section references. They have 40 plus years of experience, including other board areas within Texas. Their current staffing would be reduced. No established relationships with local employers, and it would require system conversions and process transitions. The experience with rural service delivery also was noted. There were no corrective actions, disallowed cost, or legal issues disclosed. And their proposal reflected a $250,000 profit, which is 8 to 10%. However, no reinvestment amount was identified. So some of the key distinctions between the proposals include the existing employer relationships, the staffing approach, and then clarity of supporting references and the budgeted profit and reinvestment amounts. So the recommendation by the evaluation committee on June the 10th was based on the overall evaluation results that both proposers were found capable of meeting the service contract requirements. Equus Workforce Solutions received the higher overall score, a 276 points out of 300, compared to the 271 out of 300 for Dynamic Workforce Solutions. The higher score reflects the advantages identified during the evaluation, including established employer relationships, the staffing continuity, and then a defined reinvestment amount. On that basis, it was recommended that the board of directors confirm the RFP evaluation committee selection of Equus Workforce Solutions for the management and operations of the North Texas Workforce Centers. And we do have, I want to thank our evaluation committee of Tony, Dirk, and Linda. Yes. And, you know, it's a lengthy process to review those proposals. They were very good, detailed proposals. And so thank you all for your time and commitment of doing it. We really appreciate it. So are there any questions that anyone has with the recommendation?
Okay, do I have a motion to confirm the RFP Evaluation Committee selection of Equus Workforce Solutions for management and operations of the North Texas Workforce Center? Do I have a second? Kristen. Billy, and we'll take it to a poll online. Okay, and we'll bring it back to the room. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Abstain. So we have one abstain. Yeah, can't get that. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the monitoring committee report. Sharon, page 45 to 98.
Okay, the monitoring committee met yesterday with some technical difficulties, but we got through it. First on page 45, we mentioned at our last meeting that we had our annual TWC visit first week of May, so we had an exit report with them. We have not got their official report yet of a management letter or a finding. But with that, there was one issue indicated, and that was for the Reemployment Services Eligibility Assessment. It's a fairly new program for the Workforce Center, and this was the first year that it was monitored. Last year they did some touching on it this time. So it's just one little area to do some enhancements on, and talking with the Workforce Center and going over things that they've already can see improvements on this area. So again, it was just the exit report. It can't be on the final report unless it's on the exit report. So that's just to make you aware of the only item that was brought up at the PwC exit. So any questions on it? It was good. It was a good review. They had to find something. Good review.
Well, and I will say, because I'm just very proud. Sorry, shade me up. If I don't know if everybody realizes the amount and scope of items that they review, that they pull when they are here that week for us. It's just an incredible amount of data. Finances, our fiscal agent, North Texas Regional Planning Commission, they're involved. They pulled a lot of things from the board level this year to look at and review, and a lot of that has to do with our fiscal, our procurement processes, and then just they relied on what our monitors do also, our external that we hire, Diaz and Associates, because they were certified last year. And so for this, I've said this before, and it's so minor considering what all we do. It's just incredible. So I'm very proud of the team, the staff, all the work. It's a very stressful week when the monitors are here, but we've really developed a really good relationship with those monitors too. And so that's very helpful. They provide technical assistance to us even along the way, and just it makes it a nicer review. So again, thanks to all the staff. And I do have to call out Mr. Billy Clark. In case nobody knows, he is the bomb when it comes to making chocolate. He showed up the week and he brought both Nortex and us chocolate. Thank you, Billy.
Well, you said you needed chocolate.
I know, and he threw. Also then with just a bag for me on my day. And I ate. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sorry, Sharon.
That's okay. Okay, any questions on that exit report? Going forward, we also had a child care technical assistance visit in February that they finally got a report to us. So we're just sharing with you on that. It starts on page 47. If you had a chance to look at it. And it's been a number of years since they visited in person to the workforce centers. And with our new Kinder system coming online and stuff too, they gave us some other insights as to things that have now been corrected, maybe we can utilize. So on page 52, they gave us a list of recommendations for us to look at for our child care and that information. So just sharing it with you. No big things out of it. It's just good. It's good to see them. It's good for them to get out and see the front line, because sometimes what you expect the system, it doesn't always do that to the people who actually use it. And yeah, we've had those challenges. Any questions for the technical system? Next on starting on page 55 through 65, as Lisa indicated, we also had another audit going on. This was for Nortex being our fiscal agent. They had Edgeman, Parkman, Fleming and Fleming do their audit report that they have to do annually. And of course they look, since they're our fiscal agent, they have to look at our money that flows through them since they manage that. The pages, the 55 through 65, they were all good and clean. It was all the various reports that they have to submit and will be submitted to the state, because of the type of funding that we have going through there. So, all clean, all good, great. And as Lisa indicated, that was going on a little bit around the same time the TWC visit was going on. So I know Dennis and Shauna had their plates full with pulling items too. So it was good. Any questions on it? Good reports. Okay. Also sharing from the monitoring committee is starting on page 66. We had, D.Ed Smith and Associates, as we've indicated, there are external monitors that do monitoring for us at the board level. So they had not presented, or they did not have the final single audit ready at our last meeting. So that's what this is. And TWC had mentioned on the prior year that this was a report that needed to be pulled out of the other DS reports and submitted separately. So this is just the results on the Equus single audit by DS Smith and Associates. On page 69, it gave it a pass, so there were no issues notated on their single audit. All right, any questions on it? A lot of pages. Page 84, on our D.S. Smith Associates program monitoring, we did have issues on that, as we reported back in April. So we put in place a corrective action plan. So far, I've got the one in place for Equus, so I've just included that in the packet so that you're aware of the actions that we're taking to try to get any of our small areas or repeat things. That we are working on it and working on it with them. So those are those pages there. We have met with Equus once already on the information they've submitted and been able to supply documentation that you can see increases of their results. So that was very good too. So any questions on the Equus CAP or corrective action plan? I know it's a lot of pages. Just sharing so you're aware. We do have a CAP or corrective action plan and we're working on for Rolling Plains. They had a few issues too. We just got to get that finalized yet. So we'll present that at the next board meeting that we have. And there, as I said, the Darla was able to present her reports for the workforce center, the stuff that she's been monitoring as their internal QA, and adding more graphics to it so we can definitely see the increases of or lack of error. So better results. So I appreciate that too. And then also Rolling Plains made their presentation for the monitoring committee, and they were able through their tracking be able to notate that, you know, it's a new staffing, that they can see that there's areas of training that needs to be, you know, addressed, so that again, as long as you know you're tracking those results, then you can see what you focus on. So that's also good. But overall, we had good news at the monitoring committee. And I believe that's it. Unless for the
Board spending.
we did talk about board RFPs a little bit. You got that one? Okay. So then next is on page 92 is the board spending report. So of the grants that we currently have, as of the end of April, this is our sheet for that, the remaining percentages and things like that. And on page 93 through 98 is our procurement list that we've had for the rolling 12 months. Now it's just a lot of killing trees out there, but sharing information. So anybody have any questions?
Job on audit, job is changed. Oh, well, we've got Lisa.
Okay.
You don't want to be.
No.
Did you?
I'm no. I was thinking it was her, but it's not. So, okay. So, Sharon mentioned a little bit about RFPs. This is the time that we are going out for procurements for a lot of our, the business that we do. And so the childcare RFP is currently open. It will close on June the 30th. So once the proposals are determined, of course, to be responsive, those that we receive next Tuesday, we'll go through those. And then we had those individuals who volunteered the last time to read the childcare proposals. That evaluation committee, those individuals will be contacted probably next week to go ahead and discuss the evaluation process. We'll set up an orientation, discuss that timeline, all of the things to do with that RFP. So once the evaluation committee selects their awardee, then this will unfortunately require a special board meeting in July. And I'm so sorry to have to do that to you. We typically try to leave July open, but so I've tentatively scheduled a board meeting for July the 23rd. If everybody can mark that down, and that would be to, again, vote on that. If there's other things, it should be a pretty short meeting for that. At this point in time, I think that would probably be the only thing maybe on the agenda is to vote on the award for the childcare contract. So July the 23rd. Of course, that contract begins October 1st. So we're kind of under the timeline, and I didn't really want to wait till August to do that. So, and then also we've got the fiscal RFP. So Diaz and Associates, who currently do our monitoring for that, it's time to go out for procurement for that. So that proposal was posted back on June the 18th, and those are due July the 23rd. So we will be doing the same process for that proposal like we did for workforce, and as we'll do for childcare. So I will be requesting volunteers again to read that proposal. So is there anybody that wants to jump up and volunteer right now for that fiscal?
It'll be a lot smaller than the ones.
A lot smaller. Stop.
About 300 pages or more.
Yes.
Glenda.
Glenda. Fiscal.
Gary.
Okay, for fiscal, thank you, Glenda.
I didn't pull up to it. I think
I can look.
Anthony did before. I forgot. It's been 5 years.
She's asking who volunteered for the child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I have that in my notes for April. Let me see where they are. In our board meeting notes that we voted on. It is, no, let's see. Let me see. Work holders, child care, evaluators. I think it's Dr. Cheryl Groves, Anthony Louie, and Rhonda Schreiber. Yes, it is you. So that's who, so you all will be contacted for the child care. So yes, so, and then we had Michelle Wood as an alternate for that one as well, for the child care. So I've got Glenda down for the fiscal. Anybody else want to volunteer for the fiscal RFP? Thank you. Okay.
You need 3.
I do need 3 that kind of needed
An odd number.
odd
and
number.
then
So one
maybe
more.
even an alternate.
I can do it.
And I know there's several. Thank you. Thank you. Well, and it can be.
We did use the staff member last time.
Okay. Okay, I'll do you as an alternate.
So they have okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate it. So, but that's why we get such good monitoring reviews, because we go through all these processes to do this. So it is very important that we have these outside, people that are not biased. So I think it's really important to have that instead of just the internal looking at this stuff. So, okay, all of you have this little sheet on your paper, and we will email these out. But I wanted to let you all know that the Community Choice Awards and TWC Employer Award nominations are coming up. Actually, the Community Choice Awards are open now, and so.
And they're
Kendra?
due June 30th.
Okay.
So that's the last day to vote on the community of choice. This is what the Times Record News puts out every year. And of course we want to win in the employment category. So if you scan the QR code or put in the URL that's on here and then vote for us, we would really appreciate it, because we have won that before and we would like to again.
It's just an on status to have that, but beat my staff. So, yeah, but also the 2026 employer awards. So if you have an employer that you would like to nominate, again, this is for our statewide awards.
Yeah, we recognize everybody locally who is nominated. They receive a certificate that our business services staff, delivers and honors photo ops with them. And then from that pool of local nominees that you all in the community nominate, we select someone to nominate for the state award. So that's kind of the way that works. It is open right now. If any of you want to nominate yourselves, wonderful. If you know of someone else that another business that you want to nominate, scan the QR code and it takes you to that form. There's a variety of categories: large employer of the year, small employer of the year, local employer of excellence, hireability employer of the year, which is a focus on employers who are disability friendly employers. There's a veteran friendly employer, and then all-star college awards. So those are the different categories that you can nominate a business for, or multiple. We like to know what's going on out there. Most of those, I think most, if not all of them, have to be private sector. So You can't really nominate the state hospital or us or anything like that. It has to be private sector.
Thank you. No, that's fine. So yes, so Kendra made these up and that, yes. So please take those and then we can email those out.
Yeah, we can email those, or I've got extras up here if you're in the room.
And it's on our website.
Yes, it's on our website. If you go, the drop down is about us, and then it's awards. I think it just says awards up there.
And then the next thing I wanted to let everybody know, on July the 9th, we are participating in the Governor's Small Business Summit. It's going to be held in Graham, Texas. There on the North Central Texas College. And so these events are hosted in by the Texas Economic Development, Tourism, and the Office of the Governor. They're all across the state. And so they've really tried to focus on rural areas this year. And so we have been invited to participate. They've actually asked me to moderate one of the sessions. So I will be moderating a 45-minute session that talks about smart hiring and retention solutions for rural entrepreneurs. And our very own Chelsea Lewis is actually going to be sitting on my panel. I had nominated her as a small business to participate. Owning a daycare, I thought, you know, she might have some really good insight. And so then there's several other individuals that'll be sitting on my panel. So this is still open. Tickets are going fast, but you can still register. And it really just, we want to provide the audience with the expert knowledge and advice, resources, different practices and best solutions, best practices for those about hiring in the rural area. So that also, I think, is out. I got an email today. I can send that out to all of you if anybody's interested in attending.
It's only like $20.
Yeah, it's like $20 to attend, but it's from 9 to 4 that day, and so there'll be different speakers throughout the day and vendors, and so I'll get that information out to you on that. And then I'm going to go ahead. I've got Sochel Pruitt here from Region 9 to give us a little update on AEL. And hopefully we can.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa. So, you know, last year was a pretty challenging year for us because our federal funds had been frozen. And as Mr. Miller can tell you, we were living on a prayer, so to speak. And we had thankfully some rollover funds that we were able to use those to be able to continue services. Well, then our funds were unfrozen, and with that came some a notice of intent about Priora. So as far as adult education, we are federally funded, and so we now fall under a couple of umbrellas between Department of Education, and now it looks like we're sliding into the Department of Labor. So we were notified that we fall under Priora, which means that all of our students need to be eligible to receive benefits. And that is, if they're not receiving those kind of benefits or they're not eligible, then we can no longer serve them. So it really has reduced our numbers in our programs, and we just have to just kind of roll with the punches and continue on. This year, we were just informed about a week ago, because that's how the state offices love to do that, is we are now not just Priora, but we also fall under eligibility to work. So in order for anyone to receive our services, you have to be eligible to work and eligible to receive federal benefits. If you don't, it can't be either. It has to be, it has to be both. So that's really going to really reduce our numbers. So we are really going to try to do as much as we can to get out there and really work on the educational component of the necessity of a high school equivalency and finding those students who really could benefit from these services. They're going to spend the month of July, just FYI, our fiscal year starts July 1st. So we're going to use the month of July to really do some training. And as all of you know, worked in federal and state grants, that's the month that we're going to be needing to actually just get in there and update enrollment forms, update policies, guidelines, get that training so that we will definitely be able to be in compliance. They have given us a little bit of a grace period last year, but there will not be any grace period this year. So either we comply and we have all the documents necessary, or there could be some financial consequences for allowing students to receive benefits or services, when they don't have the documentation needed to be able to provide services. So I wish it was something good news, but it is what it is. And we just continue on and find those students that we can serve. And if Mr. Miller would like to add anything, I'd be more than happy to share the floor.
We appreciate the work that you've done leading us through all that, those changes. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Sochel. I know that, our team at the center worked really close with you in providing those referrals and vice versa. So, we're very thankful for the partnership that we have with Region 9, and of course, don't expect that to change. So
Thank you.
We're here for you. So
thank you. I would just like to say that Lisa was so graciously accepted a while back ago. I wanted to recommend her to sit on our advisory board on a state level with our new director, Kathy Sarate. And she was nominated. She was nominated, and of course, she was approved. And I'm sure she'll kick me tomorrow for the work that that she's going to have to do. But I just want you to all know that our partnership is very much envied because we're probably one of the only programs, and I don't understand how that we have that great working relationship. So we've second, third year in a row of continuing to win and get recognized for the dual enrollments that we have with Workforce Solutions of North Texas and Vocational Rehab. And they ask me, what's the secret? What's the magic? And I don't know. It's just calling people up and just partnering. We can all call them the same client, student, and it's a really wonderful opportunity to be able to showcase what we do on a state level, a small program like ours. So thank you very much. I wish it came with some money, but we'll take the certificate.
The acknowledgement is nice. So thank you, Sochel. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. And that concludes my report.
Okay. We'll move to Kendra.
More
Rapid
fun
response.
things. Rapid response. There have been several since we met last. Most notably, we've had several food establishments, restaurants that have closed. Johnny Greenos was one of the first since our last meeting. They estimated about 26 employees. They closed immediately, which is pretty common in food service that they do not notify the employees in advance of the closure. There's risk involved. And so I think a lot of the businesses the employees show up to work and they're closed. Carino seems to have been one of those. The Mr. Gaddy's Pizza on Lawrence Road and which is in the Lawrence Road Walmart and in Graham, both closed, and they cited financial difficulty. Parker's Plumbing closed, due to personal reasons, but he, at the time of his closure, he only had one employee and he was picked up by another, local, plumbing establishment. Frank and Joe's, over off of Brook near the hospital. They closed that location. The other two remain open and they plan to stay open. On the border, of course, that's been all over the news. Their employees were notified in advance. It was a result of a bankruptcy nationwide, but they had 80 employees. I had no idea that they had that many. They had 60 full-time employees, 20 part-time employees, and those employees were they were devastated. We helped quite a few of them, and it was, anytime that happens, it's pretty traumatic for the people that are there. And you know, we were one of the ones that went on the last day they were open, and you know, they just still had such a positive outlook. Even there was one that we had spoken to, and you know, she's keeping her head up. So that was good. But and then the last one listed on here was confidential. We were notified by a manufacturer that they were looking at laying off 20 due to business slowdown. And we're still waiting on more information on that. But the staff did contact their HR department, their HR director, to offer rapid response services, and it's still pending. So that one's the last one on here. Since this report was submitted, Massage Envy, we were notified that they also closed. So that's, and
I love childcare.
Okay, I'm going to be super quick. I'm just going to give y'all kind of an update of what our Child Care Advisory Council talked about on Tuesday. We had our meeting on Tuesday at 2 p.m. It's pretty well attended, which I was very excited about because I know summer is very hard to get people together. We talked about the Early Childhood Coalition community events that are happening. There's not a whole lot right now because again, summertime. We talked about the Texas Association for the Education of Young Children chapter. Just briefly, Mark presented some assessment details that he's going to be giving, needs assessment details that he's going to be giving to our providers, just to kind of further like how we can serve them appropriately. And he generated that himself. He's an all-star, fantastic at what he does. And then I talked about two professional development opportunities that are going to be coming out for our providers as early as next month. And I had talked about this in a prior board meeting, but the Texas Child Care Leadership Academy, they did get the budget for that. And so we've sent that information to our providers. And basically it's completely free and funded by the Texas Workforce Commission, which is very cool. We love free things. It's up to 60 hours of director training, virtual and in-person learning experiences designed for new and experienced directors, and it's good for network building. This is just for assistant directors and directors of childcare facilities, and it's basically to help them in their leadership of their employees and of their centers. And then another thing, I was actually contacted by Rebecca Elam from Texas Workforce Commission to let me know that we are going to be offering inclusion training, early learning and intervention training and education. And it's an initiative by the Child Care Group out of Dallas. And we had a meeting with a man named Greg Naranjo. I finally figured it out. I couldn't say his last name in the meeting the other day, but he's the director of special projects for the Child Care Group, and this is a new initiative. Basically, what they're going to be doing is offering training to our Texas Rising Star mentors, as well as our daycare providers for inclusion in the daycare centers for children who have some really good things, some good opportunities for our providers, and all good news right now. So that's all I have.
Our office is currently hiring for many positions. And our client service manager stepped down. She no longer wanted to be manager, so that manager position has been open for a minute. It's kind of been an eye-opening for me as the program director. Just to learn a little bit about more what they're doing internally versus just at a program level. And so watching what the team is doing, we're doing some new QA processes. So we're implementing that. So implementing that, we're hiring a new financial specialist / QA. So she's going to do more of the final QA than the actual billing side of it, but she is going to help in that department as well as being a QA for billing also, just so everything that goes out the door is double check, triple check, and we have more ready for the audit when it gets here. So that position has actually been offered, but we have not heard back from her to whether or not she's accepting it. Hopefully she does. If not, we'll go back to the drawing board and start all over. We are also, like I said, I actually had more interviews this morning for the client service manager position. So as soon as that gets filled, they'll be training and learning and filling in also. We do have client service specialist position also open for our case management work. And I think I have currently 2 of those positions open. Cynthia Council is our newest client service specialist. She's done, I know she's worked at the OAG for the child support office. She's also done some CTS work in her past. So she is taking over because we're losing one of our current case managers who does all of our DFPS and prelim, which is a part of the QA. They're military, so her family is moving to England. So unfortunately, we're losing her. So Cynthia's going to take over where she's leaving and do all of our DFPS caseload. She's not going to do prelim. Right now, that's going to be done at a manager level, just to make sure that the process is done correctly. But that's Cynthia. Our employee spotlight, I chose Tiffany Jones, who she was our current client service manager. She's the one that stepped down, but the reason I chose her is just because she is being recognized because she still stepped in. She still is helping me train all of the new employees that come. She's going to help me train the new manager that comes. And then also at the same time, she's helping me a lot with billing too, because we don't have a billing specialist. So instead of me wearing all 3 hats, we're kind of tag teaming it together. So that's why I kind of made her our employee spotlight. And at the same time, she's doing a lot of our fact finding, or she's doing all of our fact finding for our fraud cases. So she's helping Kayla on that as well. And with all of it, she inside the office, I mean, she does get stressed out and I tell her, hey, go take a break. But for the most part, she's been having a really positive attitude about it. So she's been a tremendous help to me. Provider spotlight and success stories. I mentioned in the last board meeting that we were doing the Spotlight Moment Initiative, where we're awarding, explain like the teachers and stuff, whenever we see something that they're doing that's above and beyond, we're awarding them. Well, when we awarded them, all of them got thrown into, or they can write an essay. I should probably read my own notes. But 2 of them were selected for the Spotlight essay winners. I actually attached their essay to this, so if you guys wanted to read what they had to say, it's Dina Yetter and Cynthia Garza. I hope I said that right. Dina supports teachers at Little World Learning Center in Burke-Burnett, Texas. And then Cynthia is our director at Building Blocks Play 2, or in Wichita Falls, Texas. Building Block Play 2 Center, so she actually works at the number 2. But I'm not going to read those essays. If you guys want to read over them, you can. Just some numbers, our wait list numbers. As of June 15th, we have 276 children on our waiting list. We are outreaching 50 of those every Monday. It's kind of been a transition because the new system for a long time wasn't working properly. So we were having to do it manually and keep a bunch of different spreadsheets. But we are hoping that the system is now working properly, and we're sending all of those through the system, and we're getting a lot of responses. It's really, the system is working when we use it. So, but we are currently outreaching 50 of them a week. Unfortunately, our wait list is still 6 to 8 months long. So for those who aren't really priority, because we have to do the priority ones first, which have been most of our outreach. Out of the 50, I want to say like between 40 and 46 have all been priority. So
Can you explain what priority?
so priority is there's different, like there's homeless, there's veterans, there's teen parents, parents with children with disabilities. All of them have to be processed first before we can go to the low income. So even though a low income person has been on there, say 6 months, a new one comes on tomorrow. If they're homeless, they get priority over that low income. So sometimes it kind of seems unfair to the low income people, which is another thing that I've transitioned in my office. I've been trying to train my client service people that just because we may not be able to help them with either funding or because they're on the wait list or, you know, at the moment they don't qualify, I'm trying to train and educate my client service staff that to give them other resources, which is another position in my department, which is parent navigator, which I'm creating and still in the process of doing. That parent navigator is going to go out to like ECC meetings or different entities and get resources for our parents. That way, when we can't help them internally, we can give them the resources that will help them, such as if we know of daycares like CCP who has scholarships, we can say, hey, you know, try reaching out to CCP, or, you know, they may be able to help you with a scholarship until we can fund you. Or, you know, try getting, if you qualify for food stamps or Medicaid, can you qualify for TANF? Because if you qualify for TANF, you may be able to get on the Choices program, which is an automatic placement for us. So just educating them and giving them more resources than we have available, you know, that we can't help them, just giving them those resources. It kind of helps their spirit a lot that we're just not turning them away and saying we can't help you. So those are some of the things that we're introducing to staff to help. Enrollment as of the end of May, total children in care was 1,149, and the new referrals that we got from the report was 21 new children were added. Director's luncheon training was held on June 9th. We had Tyler Preston from one of our providers. He's the director of Southside Youth Center. He came and talked about leading while dealing with challenging parents. They had 6 in-person attendees and 7 online. Shelly Donaldson does all of our infant toddler trainings, which are held once a month. April was held April 30th over Circle Foundations and Best Practices. We had 8 in person and 13 online. And then in May, it was over Foundation Cognitive Development. We had 11 in person and 11 online. The next infant toddler training will be June 25th. And it's just bingo night. The bingo's kind of just a fun, a lot of people ask, well, what's bingo? It's still a training, but we implement a bingo night to have fun, to kind of train them while they're playing games. So it keeps them kind of all interactive and learning at the same time. ECI trainings, our April ECI training, which is our early childhood intervention, was held April 23rd over challenging behavior aggression. It was presented by our classroom mentor, Melissa Eccles. We had 17 in-person attendees and 35 online attendees. And if you know anyone who has ECI background or SPED background and loves to be a mentor, please send them my way, because Melissa actually took a teaching job in Anson, Texas, which is outside of Abilene. So she's actually not going to be with us as of the end of July. So we'll be filling that position as well. We have a lot of changes. So we have a lot of changes going on.
Thanks, Donna.
Thank you. All right, Crystal, she's up there.
I'll be quick, guys. I want to point out a couple of things. We continue to stay busy. Mortensen hiring event. It was for a solar farm. We had 289 people show up here, and they were camped out at our front door at 5 a.m. I'm not kidding you. It was chaos, but it was so organized chaos. It was, and then 103 people got hired that day. It's amazing.
Yes.
Super proud of the staff. Rural service delivery continues to be a priority. 10 out of our 11 counties are rural. You can see the Jack County Job Fair, Clay County, Construction and Skills Trades Job Fair we held in Vernon. That was a new one. Burnett Career Fair. We took the virtual reality headsets out to Goldberg. I mean, we're just really trying to get plugged into those rural communities. And then there's some pictures from the Mortensen hiring events. And I am going to hand it over to Ginger to talk about our special employee spotlight. Mrs. Tracy.
Yes, Tracy Hunt Felton is a business services consultant with Workforce Solutions, and she does help put together the big job fairs and hiring events and lots of other things. I do want to point out that Tracy has been recognized by TWC because she has written fidelity bonding grants for, well, the numbers are there. 5 last year in 2025, 30 so far in 2026, which got their attention because they very rarely do that many in the entire state. So
they reached out to me and were like, what are y'all doing in North Texas? And who is this Tracy person? I said, well.
So Tracy's background was in bail bonds, so she understands the importance of giving the employers this insurance policy for people to give people a chance that have a background. So another thing that Tracy's been here just a little over a year. She's built some great relationships with our employers, and she has been phenomenal with helping us with the teacher externship. I don't know how she does it, but she's very soft spoken and she's shy, so she's not going to say anything today. But she gets these employers to buy in for the teacher externship. Nobody says no to her. So I don't know what she's offered them, but so the teacher externship, the summer earn and learn program, employers call us for that every year. They really do. They want to participate. So we've got a lot of great things going on. She helped us launch the Texas Mutual Grant as well. But I wanted to spotlight Tracy because she's a big part of our business services and our success in the community. Another thing I want to point out is, speaking of hiring or job fairs, our big job fair is coming up. The Beat the Heat Summer Job Fair. It's going to be at our partner, Region 9, on July 16th. So if you haven't seen one of our big hiring events in action, I do invite you to come out, walk around, and look at the bus. It's awesome. So thank you, Tracy.
It's a great job.
Can I just say one thing on the fidelity bonds? In 2025, when she did those 5, when we told them, this is something, let's focus on this. They were doing second chance job fairs and stuff like that. Statewide, the entire state had only done 24 fidelity bonds. And that was probably in September, October of last year. At that point, there were only 24 statewide. She did 5 between that September, October time frame through the end of the year, and she's already done 31 this year. So anyway, just to give you a frame of reference of how impressive that is, what she's doing. I have to put my 2 cents in because
so the state, they do want her to speak. They've asked her to speak to the rest of the boards. Again, we're one of 28 boards, to let them know what she's doing because we lead the state fidelity bonds and we're small. And so they want her to give them, best practices and how can they do that too. So
Y'all, correction, sorry, the 16th job fair is at the mall. We have so many events for Friday. It's at the mall. It's at the mall.
And he was like, oh, you're doing that one there too? Or go. It's hiring red, white,
red, white, you're thinking of.
I told you there's a lot.
We have all these great partners though that do all of these big events. So
that all?
I think so. I just want to point out that the success story this month is also based on the work that Tracy, that she does a lot. She's out there plugged into with our employers, so thank you, Tracy.
And that was a great.
Yeah, I mean,
It's okay. It's good.
so I
It's good.
included the survey results, and you guys asked for all of them, so it's raw data. A couple of it that could be seemingly negative. There's one that says, I had a hard time contacting and it's supposed to be representative, I think, spelled incorrectly, on more than one occasion. A lot of positive, and there are several that are obviously for another board area. They mentioned DFW and Denton, so it's not a perfect survey system, but by and large, the vast majority of them are positive. And I highlighted our bold one of them, talks about 2 of our team members here in the Wichita office, but I won't read all of those.
All right, I think we're done. Remember, yes, good, okay. We're about to conclude, but remember the special board meeting, July 23rd. Please mark your calendars. And we will adjourn. It's 1:11. Have a good day.
Thank you all for coming. Have a great 4th of July.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you.